Hello, everyone, and welcome to our channel, The Audible Review. Today, our mission really is to dig into the quiet power of compounding daily habits. We're looking at sources focused on this, especially Darren Hardy's book, The Compound Effect. It's all about how these tiny, almost unnoticeable shifts can lead to, well, huge results down the line.
Right. And what's really interesting, I think, is how it kind of goes against the grain. We're often pushed to find that big breakthrough. But Hardy argues that real success, whether it's money, health, relationships, it doesn't usually come from one giant effort. It's more about these small, seemingly minor actions done day in, day out. It's a very practical way to think about consistency, almost boringly so, but effective.
Exactly. And he gives these great examples right away. Like,
Yeah.
it's not about, some miracle cure. It's the person who loses weight just by cutting, 125 calories a day? Seems like nothing. Or the investor building real wealth by just putting aside $100 a month, every single month for years. It makes success feel less about luck and more about, well, sheer discipline.
Precisely. And the core idea, the formula he presents is really straightforward. Small, smart choices, plus consistency, plus time, equals radical success. Sounds almost too simple, maybe, but that's the engine behind it all.
Okay, but here's a question I think a lot of people have. If the big results take so long, how do you stay motivated? That initial phase where you're putting in the work, but you see basically nothing happening. That's tough.
That's a really key point, and Hardy tackles it head on. He basically says you have to trust the process, trust the math of compounding. Think about it like the success curve starts almost flat, like zero visible progress. And that's exactly where most people, maybe 99%, just give up. They stop right before things are about to take off,
Yeah.
exponentially. You've got to have faith in that delayed gratification. Time is the real multiplier here, not just intensity.
Right. Okay. So let's maybe unpack the main lessons he lays out for actually doing this long term, starting with the absolute foundation. Choices shape your life.
Yeah, and what's powerful there is the focus isn't on the huge life-altering decisions. We usually think hard about those. It's the tiny everyday choices, like having that extra soda or spending just 5 more minutes scrolling online. Seems harmless, right? But Hardy says those little things compound negatively over time. Just like the small positive choices, reading one page, doing 5 push-ups, they build up the other way. Every single small decision is either an investment in your future or it's working against you.
Which flows right into the next point then.
Yeah.
Habits are your superpower. How does he draw the line between just making a good choice and having a true ingrained habit?
The difference is basically effort. A choice takes conscious willpower every time. A habit, that's success running on autopilot. He talks about installing good habits using that classic loop. Trigger, routine, reward. The real key is just repetition. Keep doing it until the good behavior actually feels easier, energetically cheaper for your brain than the bad one. When you don't have to argue with yourself anymore about saving that $100 or hitting the gym, then it's a habit. It's locked in.
And once you have those habits locked in, you get to what he calls the big mo. Momentum is everything. Is that just like a feeling, or is it something more tangible?
Oh, it's definitely tangible, quantifiable even. You hit Big Mo when the results you're getting start to outweigh the effort needed to keep things going. Think of it like pushing a heavy flywheel. It takes enormous effort to get it started, right? But once it's spinning fast, it almost carries itself. Success starts feeding success. You stop needing sheer motivation because the results themselves pull you along.
Okay, that makes sense. And the final piece seems to be about accountability. Tracking creates mastery. Now, for some people, tracking every little thing, calories, spending it, can feel really tedious. Why is it so essential, according to Hardy?
Well, the simple answer is what gets measured gets improved. You need to track because it shines a light on things you do automatically, subconsciously. Most of the negative stuff that compounds, like mindless spending or eating it, happens when we're not paying attention. Tracking breaks that cycle. It gives you hard data, immediate feedback, and that awareness is what empowers you to actually make changes consciously. It turns intentions into something real you can work with.
So, applying this whole framework, it sounds like the core message is pretty much the same, whether you're talking about money, health, or even relationships.
Absolutely. For you, the listener, trying to put this into practice, it means shifting your focus. With finances, it's about that consistent saving and investing, not trying to time the market or find that one huge win. For health, it's those small daily tweaks to diet and movement, not crash diets or extreme workouts you can't sustain. And maybe most importantly for relationships, it's about those small, regular acts of kindness and attention, not relying on grand gestures once in a while to smooth things over.
Yeah, which brings us right back to that quote that really sums it all up, doesn't it? You will never change your life until you change something you do daily. The secret of your success is found in your daily routine.
Exactly. And if you zoom out, the reason the compound effect resonates, I think, is because it forces us to embrace the boring part of mastery, repetition. It really proves that just sticking with it consistently, day after day, that beats raw talent almost every time. Ultimately, the secret is just mastering those tiny decisions, committing to doing them over and over, and then just letting time work its magic. Patience is key.
If you found this deep dive helpful and are ready to apply this blueprint, then do like, share, and subscribe to our channel.